involved in what glove you're using, but I'm going to preface this by saying you're going to see some Wilson gloves here. I'm a Rawlings guy. We got these for free in school. So, but I like Wilson. But so anyway, we're going to talk predominantly about the middle infield. I was going over what kind of topics I wanted to discuss, and we can literally talk for 24 hours straight about all four infield positions. So I'm going to limit it mainly to middle infield, but there will be some parallels for corner infielders as well. So let's talk about gloves real quick. I was a huge glove guy. I love gloves. And I was super particular about what glove I was using in the infield. So I was that guy that, if I saw somebody put on my glove, I'm saying something to them, right? I hated. I'm not kidding you. If my glove was sitting in the dugout when I went back in the clubhouse and I came back outside and I put it on, I could tell somebody with fat fingers had my glove on. You can tell. It makes a difference. I'm telling you. So for all you players out there, don't just go around putting other people's gloves on. It really messes things up. Okay. But anyway, so I played all four infield positions throughout my career. And I used a different glove for third base, the same glove for short and second, and obviously a different glove for first base. Third base, you want a little bit bigger glove. A quick transfer is not as important. So you want something with a little more range, right? So I used 11 3/4. This is the Wilson EL3, the Evan Longoria model. It's got this little, I forget what they call this web. Anyway, but it's 11 3/4. And as you guys get older, you'll see that like a Rawlings 11 3/4 and a Wilson 11 3/4 are different sizes. Okay, 11 3/4 and Wilson have a lot longer fingers than the Rawlings ones. So this is actually one of my. I said I'm a Rawlings guy, but I love this glove. I actually bought another one, which I don't have. It's still up in Pennsylvania. But I like the big glove with a big pocket for third base because I needed range and guys were smoking balls at me and I just needed to get it in the glove. That's all that mattered. It didn't really matter how fast I got it out of the glove because I was just using my arm once I actually caught the ball at third base, right? So third base, we're worried about range, so you want a little bigger glove. Middle infield, though, I used 11.5 in Wilson and 11.25 in Rawlings because the Rawlings 11 3/4 and the Wilson 11.5 to me felt the same. About how I use my gloves, I always put 2 in the pinky here. Starting off, I see you, Chase, on there, fist pumping. When I was younger, I used to break in my gloves with 2 in the pink and then switch to normal. But I ended up, I like being able to open my glove up really, really wide, and that helped me do that with 2 in the pink here. Okay, so the reason I like to open it up wide is so that a ball that hits me right here goes in my glove. Okay, I flare this out too, so a ball that hits right here goes in my glove. I see kids doing this, and it makes no sense to me because now you're just limiting the amount of space that you have for a ball to enter into your glove, and the whole purpose of infielders is for the ball to go into your glove. So I always flare it out. Again, kind of personal preference. First base glove, there's not too much to say about first base gloves. They're big, and they're just designed for you to catch everything. I also have a training glove. It's a super small glove. These aren't very expensive. I think it was $100 maybe. It's a 9.5-inch glove and it's designed for training. So I like to do, and we're going to talk about some infield drills and stuff. I like to do a lot of bare hand drills because it makes you focus on the catch. Okay, and too many times infielders overlook the catch. Right? There's only one thing we have to do as an infielder: catch the ball and throw it to somebody else. Okay, so this glove forces you to focus on the catch. So I'm using this. I actually got this after I finished playing, and my players can attest to this. I have it with me everywhere I go. But I wish I used this more during my career because It's just a smaller surface that makes you focus on that catch. So if you're taking live ground balls with these guys smoking balls at you and you're catching it with this no problem, it becomes really, really easy when you get to this bigger glove. Okay. So we're going to kind of talk about common mistakes and areas that 99% of amateur youth infielders can improve upon. And there's a couple different things that I want everybody to understand. There's kind of three main, let's say, areas of focus or areas that you can train as an infielder. There is your feet, your eyes, and your hands. Okay. With those three, that's how we catch balls. Okay. Number and those I've listed those as 1, 2, 3 as and as how important they are. Okay. Your feet are the most important. Your eyes are very close second, and your hands are third. Okay. Your feet to get you to the right hop, you have to be able to read the right hops with your eyes, and your hands obviously to catch the hop. Okay. We're going to talk about this as we get going here too. The best infielders in the world don't get any bad hops because they always get the good hop. And that has everything to do with your feet, how well your feet move and how well you're reading hops and going and getting the right one. Good infielders are extremely aggressive. They're always playing to the ball, through the ball, okay? And they know exactly what hop they're getting, right? If we're just sitting back on our heels waiting for that ball to get to us, we're going to get eaten alive. Those are the kids that get a ton of bad hops. Those are the kids that get in between hops, okay? All right, so let's talk about the basics real quick of fielding, because I think fielding ground balls, the fundamentals are, maybe more important to fielding ground balls than fundamentals are to hitting, fundamentals are to throwing, other stuff, okay? If we don't have the fundamentals down and we don't dominate those fundamentals as an infielder, we're not going to be able to play defense at a high level, okay? Here are the fundamentals, okay? Play low, field the ball out front, move our feet. Pretty simple, okay? Actually very simple. And this is what I start with when I do an infield lesson or I'm teaching infielders to a 12-year-old or a 17-year Division I, prospect. We're starting with the same thing, which is playing low, fielding the ball out front, and moving our feet, okay? When I say playing low, way too many kids think that they're low and they're not, okay? And I'm going to get the camera here on the floor so you can actually see. We're going to get interactive here because I want you guys to really have a visual and be able to see what I'm talking about. So I'll get my glove on. So when I say playing low, okay, let's just talk about positioning, and playing low is part of that positioning. So when I'm fielding a ground ball, okay, my legs should be probably right above parallel. Okay, so if we're squatting, this is probably parallel here. Okay, that's right. This is right above parallel. My back is going to be flat. Okay, or fairly flat. I'm not rounding my shoulders, but my eyes need to be able to be up. The reason my eyes need to be up is so I can see the hops. I can see what the runners are doing, and I'm athletic and I can move. Okay, but most young infielders that I see, they're like this, okay? Now, playing low, fielding the ball out front is number 2, okay? If I don't play low enough and I'm bending with my waist, I know you guys can't really see me. There's probably a weird view. I apologize, okay? I'm bending with my waist instead of my knees, okay? Now, I can't field the ball out front because I'm fielding the ball back between my feet. My eyes are down. I can't see what's happening ahead of me. That ball can take a bad hop. I'm not in an athletic position to move and grab a short hop, okay? So I have to be able to play low. I have to have a flat back. I have to be able to see what's happening in front of me, and I have to be able to catch the ball out front with relaxed arms, okay? Relaxed arms is super important because when I first started teaching catch the ball out front, we got this, okay? Straight arms, stiff arms, okay? We can't be stiff as an infielder. You have to react so quickly and at the snap of a finger be able to either step up and get a short hop or react this way and get a long hop. Having stiff, tight arms is not conducive to reacting quickly. So that's very important. The lower we get, the farther I can catch the ball out front with a relaxed arm. The higher I am, the harder I have to reach to the ground. The more I'm looking down, the more I'm catching that ball in between my feet. Okay? So that's number 1 and 2. And number 3 is move your feet. Doesn't matter how good your hands are. If you cannot get your body into a position to catch the right hop, you're not going to be, I almost said a good infielder. You're just not going to be an infielder at all. Okay? If you can't get your body into a position to catch the right hop, you're not going to be an infielder at all, because defense or infield is 100% about getting the right hop. Okay? So I talk about those fundamentals, and to be a consistently good infielder, you have to have the right fundamentals. But I'll take, if I had a kid that had horrible fundamentals as far as playing low, catching the ball up front, but got the right hop, he had great feet, got the right hop every single time, he's going to have a higher fielding percentage than the kid that has horrible feet but plays really low, catches the ball up front, if that makes sense. Okay? So let's talk about our hops, because that's kind of the next part of becoming a good infielder. We got 3 different types of hops. Okay? Let's see. I want you guys participating here. So guys, give me the 3 different types of hops that I'm talking about. I'll give you one, because you guys are probably like, what the heck is he talking about? Okay, short hop is one of them. There's 2 other types of hops. Short, long, in between. Thank you, Jake Butler. Great job. Okay, short, long, in between hop. Okay, which hop do we not want? Somebody put it in the comments here. Which hop is bad? In between. Very good. Okay, in between hops are those ones that kids come back to the dugout and say, man, it's got a bad hop. No, you didn't get a bad hop. You got yourself a bad hop because your feet were bad. Okay, here's the nice thing about in-between hops. 1 step up to the in-between hop, it's a short hop. 1 step back from the in-between hop, it's a long hop. So in other words, your feet 100% dictate what hop you're getting. And as I just said, the number 1 most important thing to feel, being a good infielder is getting the right hops. So, and then that goes back to your feet. If your feet aren't good, you're not getting the right hops. If you're not getting the right hops, you're not a good infielder. Okay? So let's talk about short hops here and proper kind of mechanics as a actually fielding them. So another big mistake that I see kids make is when they're fielding, they're using their wrist. Okay? Like this. I see a lot of kids do that. And those are the same kids that ball hits in their glove, rolls up their arm, hits them in the chin, or flies out into the outfield, okay? Because they're playing the ball like this, right? Also, if our timing's not perfect, my glove's coming up, the more my wrist goes this way, the more my fingers come up, easier it is for the ball to just hit off the end of my glove and not go in it or go underneath it, okay? We had a saying at Ole Miss, we never let ground balls go between our legs. That was like, worse than murder as far as sins go. Letting a ball goes between your legs, like that. I mean, you make errors, but if a ball went between your legs, you were running. That's how bad it was, because that's controllable. That's you being scared and coming up and popping up on a short hop or an in between hop. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that at a young age. I never got that till I was 18 years old. But understand that the ball should never go between your legs. Like, you should never be okay with that, right? And I'm going off in a different direction than I wanted to, but this is really important as well. You're going to make mistakes as an infielder. You're going to make errors, and you have to understand that. And when you understand that, now when you do make an error, you're able to move on because it happens, okay? But in practice, I was okay with making errors in practice for a while, right? So I would boot a ball and say, whatever, we got, 80 more ground balls here to get. But practice is a controlled setting. You know the ball's coming to you. You know that the pace that your coach is hitting them at you, right? and I started taking way more pride in my practice defensively, and that's when I got really, really good as an infielder, because I was no longer okay with, making errors in practice. So I started tracking how many days I could go in practice or pregame without making an error. And number one, it added a little competition, just me against myself, but it also, forced me to take pride in my practice. And practice, especially defensively, is how you're going to get really, really good. That's how you learn to read hops. That's how you learn, improve your feet. I think with as far as feet goes, and you hear guys talking about feet and infielders all the time. Your feet certainly get improved in the weight room in your strength and conditioning and agility workouts, but I don't think there's any substitute for just taking ground balls, just getting reps in, right? There's not too many better ways to learn. Like, you're not going to learn to be on the balls of your feet, approaching a ball. It takes a bad hop and step up and get a short hop, right? You're not going to learn that in the weight room, doing an agility ladder, right? The actual mechanics and your pure athleticism are developed in the weight room, but that there's such specific footwork that you need as an infielder that that's only gonna be developed on the field taking ground balls. So, you need to be getting reps. And I know right now is really hard for you guys, but as an infielder, throughout high school, I did not take enough ground balls. We got like 4 ground balls and in practice at my high school practice. And then, really after that, I didn't do much because I didn't care about defense like I should have. Then you got to college and it becomes super important, and you understand how important and how big of a difference errors make at elite levels. Okay. All right. So there's my rant that I just got myself off of. So let's go back to catching the ball here. So too many kids are doing this. Okay. I call this scooping the dirt. Okay. Scooping the dirt. We want to rake the dirt. Okay. So notice that when I'm catching the ball this way, okay, specifically short hops, okay, when I'm catching the ball this way, I'm showing my wrist to the ball, okay, and I'm keeping it there. Essentially what this does is, I don't know how well you guys can see, okay, is it gives my glove a ceiling, okay? When my wrist is flexed back this way, okay, so my fingers are pointed down, it gives my glove a ceiling, so that ball goes into my glove and stays there. When I go this way, I essentially take the ceiling away. Now that ball can just roll up my arm. Okay? But when my fingers are down, it keeps the ball in my glove. As a hitters, we know this is probably the most awkward position I've ever been in doing a webinar. Okay? As hitters, we know we need to match the plane of the baseball, the pitch that's coming in. Fielding ground balls is the same exact thing. A ball that's bouncing and coming up, why would I want to go this way to catch that? Okay. I never want to get underneath these balls because those are the balls that bounce over my shoulder and end up in the outfield. I want to play that almost like I'm trying to match the plane. If it's bouncing this way, I'm playing through it that way, right? We need to make short hops shorter and make the long hops longer, okay? And in between hops, we're just leaving alone or making them into short hops, okay? So when we catch a short hop, I'm playing through that short hop. If this is a short hop, that ball is bouncing right here, I never want to play it this way because I just turned that short hop. If I just played it, boom, like that, that's a short hop. If I play it this way, I just turned it into an in-between hop, okay? So short hops I need to play out through that short hop, almost match the plane of that ball coming up, play down through it, flexing my wrist back, showing my wrist to the ball, fingers down, okay, and playing through that. That goes for backhands as well, okay? So that's short hops. Let's talk about backhands because I just mentioned that. Backhands, big mistake that I see kids make is same thing. We go this way, and we reach with my wrist, and we reach with my elbow to catch those backhands, okay? What we need to do, I'm trying to play almost with my tricep, okay? I'm playing through the ball this way. and my feet are what is allowing my body to move through the ball. Okay. If we have bad feet and I call it quicksand feet, my feet got stuck in the quicksand. I'm waiting on the ball and the short hop happens up here and my feet aren't moving. Now I have to reach this way to catch that short hop, or I'm just going to get an in between hop. Okay. Otherwise, I know I'm on my knees. I should just move my feet through that ball and my body through that ball so I can catch the short hop with good mechanics here. But if I have to reach out to get the ball, we're missing, a good portion of those, right? And keep in mind here, when I say a good portion, may not seem like a lot, but like 5 or 6, that's a good portion of ground balls you're missing. Best infielders in the world, have 985 fielding percentage, like stupid numbers, like they never miss balls. Okay. That needs to be your mentality if you're going to be a good infielder. If you think it's okay to miss a couple balls, you're not a good infielder. Okay. I guarantee you Francisco Lindor is not missing many balls. Okay. It happens. I get it. But the mentality as an infielder is I don't miss balls. And if I do, it's a fluke. Right. And then you move on to the next one. All right, cool. Let's talk about rhythm and timing. Because when I say rhythm and timing, I'm sure everybody kind of thinks of the same thing if we're just talking about baseball, and that's hitting, right? Rhythm and timing is super important in hitting. I would argue that it's even more important for infielders, fielding ground balls, okay? So I got a video that I want to show you guys here. So I'm going to share my screen. Some of you might have seen this before. It's just a couple minutes. And it is the Dodgers infield practice. So they're just taking ground balls. They're on the grass. They're playing up, probably just getting loose. I just want you to watch how relaxed they are, them playing low, them catching the ball out front, and their footwork, okay? Here's the footwork that I want you to pay attention to. It's right, left catch. Now they're throwing it back to home, so it's going to change a little bit. But right, left catch. They center the ball with their hands, separate, and throw it back home, okay? So that left foot is coming down almost every single ball that these guys are fielding. We're just going to watch this. 5 minutes long. Guys, if you have anything to add here as we're watching this, like him dropping a ball, see? Good infielders never miss balls, what I say. Now, it happens, but, he's not walking back there pouting. He's like, whatever. I know I'm a good infielder. I'm going to catch the next 70. Okay, right, left catch, right, left throw. I don't know about you guys, but I love watching this kind of behind the scenes stuff. Because, when you watch ESPN, you see the finished product. You see what they were at spring training working on, and you don't get to see how they're working on it. But watching this stuff, I think, is more valuable for your development than watching an actual baseball game. Not that we can watch baseball right now, Korean baseball, but this stuff is really, really important. If they actually hit a ground ball to Turner here. Right. So let's watch that again because, that looks so simple. And we talk about getting the right hop. Okay. Somebody put in the comments what hop he just got by taking that drop step. Okay. Long hop. Very good. Okay. He saw what hop was coming. And as a third baseman, you have to be so quick to your first step is so important because you don't have time to take 3 or 4 steps and catch a ball. Right? You have one step to get the right hop. He recognized that he wasn't going to get the short hop, had to step back for the long hop. And it's just a little jab step back so that he can catch that ball. Right, left catch, right, left. Nice and easy throw. Right, left catch, get rid of it. Notice how relaxed they are. They're not herky jerky. Their feet are quick. They have a good first step. They're moving their body to the right spot, but they're relaxed. That's why it looks so easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like equally as important.
We're probably not going to get into double plays today because that's my favorite thing to talk about, and we'll be on here for 3 hours. But watch how quick these guys' hands are. We're going to talk about the transfer here in a second, which is obviously a gigantic part of turning double plays. But let's see here. Dang, now I want to talk about double plays. Maybe we'll go over some briefly. Anyway, you guys get it. Let me stop this share. All right, so right, left catch, right, left throw. You see most of those guys, right? They're using that timing that their left foot's coming down as they're catching the ball. That's a big area that I see young kids, missing. That rhythm and timing is what allows us to adjust to bad hops or to just a hop that you're not expecting. Okay, if we have stone feet or quicksand feet, and we stop and we're waiting on a ball, that's when we get eaten up. That's when we get the wrong hop. And what's infield all about? Getting the right hop. So my feet have to be in constant motion. My body has to be moving through my catch towards the direction that I'm throwing. Or I'm going to be herky-jerky. I'm not going to get the right hop. I'm going to make throwing errors, okay? So right, left catch, right, left throw. As a third baseman, the ball gets to you quick. You have time to get it over to first, but you have a long throw, so you got to have a strong arm. From shortstop, the ball takes a long time to get to you, and you have a long throw, which is why shortstops are typically the best athletes, because they got to have good arms, they got to have great feet, and they got to be able to get rid of the ball quickly. Second baseman, the ball takes a long time to get to you, but you have all day. You have a really short throw. You can just flip it over there like a little dart. Okay. And first baseman, you big boys are just there to hit home runs and catch the ball that guys throw to you. Okay. Not really. The elite level first baseman can pick the what out of it, and that's extremely important. But let's talk about the transfer really, really quick, because I think this is one area. I didn't want to have a super long webinar tonight because I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you guys, and we'll have another infield webinar. But the transfer, yes, Ben, I just got that. After this transfers, we'll talk about that. So this glove as an infielder is not used to catch and squeeze the ball. Okay. The only time I'm squeezing my glove to catch a ball is when we are throwing it around the horn after we struck a guy out on a pop-up or line drive, or if I'm catching the ball at a force out at a base, like kind of like a first baseman. That's the only time I'm squeezing my glove. Okay. All other times, this thing's a backhand or a backboard. Okay. Just like on a basketball hoop. Okay. When I'm catching the ball, even on ground balls. Now, anything outside that I got to catch one-handed, obviously I do have to squeeze it as well, as far as ground balls go. But even on ground balls, I'm not squeezing this glove. Okay, I'm catching the ball in my pocket, or not in my pocket, but kind of on my pointer finger here, and I'm using this hand to get that ball out. Okay. But as far as transfers, so double plays, relays, you name it, whenever you have to get a ball out of your glove quickly and get it somewhere else, this glove turns into a backboard. Okay. So we always are deflecting the ball out of my glove into my throwing hand. What I see young kids doing is they catch the ball, they squeeze, they turn the glove across their body, They reach in their glove, pull it out. It takes so much time. Right? We're never going to turn double plays like that at elite levels. We're never going to, have fast enough hands at elite levels to play defense. Okay. This is a deflection. Okay. Now, it's really important. My feet are super important in this. Okay. So if a ball is thrown to my left, I have to move my body so that this ball turns in, I catch it in the middle of my body so I can deflect it. Any ball that's thrown outside of, this is what we call my funnel. If you can imagine a funnel going out this way, the small end of the funnel is on my chest, okay? I'm trying to catch every single ball within that funnel, okay? That funnel's right here. Any ball thrown outside of my funnel, I have to reach, catch it, and bring it to center, okay? A huge mistake the kids make, they catch the ball outside of that funnel, take the glove the whole way across their body, which throws off their direction, which throws off their athleticism, and now I have to pull the glove out, and now I'm opening up, spinning open, okay? Watch elite infielders. They catch the ball, center, and separate. Whether high, separate. Low, center, and separate. Outside backhand, center, and separate, okay? We always bring it to center and separate from there if we do have to catch it. But on all other times, I'm moving my feet so that I can get this ball in the middle of my body, in that funnel, so I can deflect, okay? And this is a drill that I did a lot throughout college. It literally just sitting there in the clubhouse or wherever I was with my glove, okay, and a ball. And I'm not squeezing my glove at all. I'm just feeling how that ball deflects off my glove, okay? And I know exactly what direction that ball's coming out of my glove, okay? And keep in mind here, I'm never catching the ball in my web here, okay? I'm catching the ball right on my pointer finger. That's where you get good deflection, right? So I hated playing in cold weather games. When I was like, if it was cold, I was like, please let me play third because I don't want to have to turn a double play as a second baseman because it stung so bad. But I did it anyway because that's the quickest way to do it, okay? We got to deflect that ball. But we can only deflect it if it's in the middle of my funnel, okay, or in my funnel where I can use two hands, okay? Outside funnel, we got to catch, bring it to center, separate, okay? Let's talk about first base here, Ben. I'm going to unmute you here because this is super important as first baseman receiving throws. First baseman, become the other infielder's best friend if you're a good first baseman, or you're their worst enemy if you're a bad first baseman, because you're going to save your guys from a lot of errors. You're going to save your team a lot of extra runners if you're a good first baseman, right? It's the first baseman. I don't mean this as an insult. This is a compliment. Or like linemen, right? Maybe one of the most important positions on the field, but they don't get any recognition defensively anyway. First baseman get recognition for hitting bombs. Okay, so Ben, let's talk about receiving throws as a first baseman.
Yeah, well, I played first base in high school, and then I actually went to college as a first baseman. But obviously, as a lefty, I worked a lot with them. As a first baseman in fielding, playing down, playing up. If you're playing back, I like to play in a little more upright stance. You have a little more range, and really, as a first baseman, we're looking to knock a ball down. If we're covering first base and we're looking for two, you're going to play off the bag a little lower, and you're usually going to get that nice middle hop to turn two. But really, what guys don't work on is receiving. I see a ton of guys, and I guarantee I can go watch practice. Guy run over to first base, and he has a foot planted on the base already before the fielder even moved to the ball to throw it. We have to get to the bag, find the bag, and then become an infielder on that throw. You even watch big leaguers that don't do it well. That how many times do you see a guy catch a ball, a hop, he gets a hop and he's back here in his gut. Okay, that hop could have been made a short hop by going out after it, or if you know your runner and your ball's hit hard to the shortstop or third baseman, second baseman, I don't like to do it as much, but you make that tweener hop, a long hop, by stepping back and catching it in foul territory. Makes it a much easier play. And I see guys a couple other things real quick so we don't extend this. But for me, as a first baseman, being a lefty, I prefer to backhand my short hops. And the reason I prefer to backhand is because I can get out a little further. I could take my arm out further than I could this way, keeping the palm down like Christian's talking about to get that short hop. I can keep the ceiling and get out further towards the baseball. Back hop is better. You have to be prepared for it. And for me as a first baseman, I'm sure a lot of you guys can attest to it. The most difficult for me to throw for me to catch was the ankle throw. You get one that's hovering 6 inches off the ground. You don't know whether it's going to hop or not. You got to catch it in the palm. You guys got to suck that up. And when you guys get guys throwing 95 across the diamond, those don't feel good. But you have to work on those. They're very difficult. Have somebody stand behind the mound and throw you darts at your ankles all day. You're going to get better.
Yep. And I actually I preferred backhands picks at first baseman. I'm a righty, but backhands were much easier. I felt like I had much better control of my glove that way. Unless, of course, the throw was down the line, and then I had to go forehand. But one of my favorite drills that anybody can do with you first baseman is have a guy or your coach, your dad, throwing fungos and almost just like hitting you ground balls from the shortstop angle, from second base, from third base, and you're playing them like short hops, right? Really, really good guys can just hit short hops to you with a fungo, okay? Those are like professional fungo guys. But literally just even if it's a two-hopper, you're going to get a hop that you got to read and make a play on, right? That's going to help you get better. So first baseman take pride in picking those balls because it's super important. And when you're getting recruited, a lot of you guys that are solely first baseman right now, that might be your only position. You might not run well enough to play the outfield. You might not be or have the arm to play third base, but you're a big kid that can really hit the ball. So you better be a great first baseman because that's your key to getting on the field, right? And you can go to college and be a DH, but no DHs are getting drafted to play professionally. Okay, so take pride in that aspect as well. Let's see here. There's one more thing I want to talk about. Guys, ask some questions right now in the chats if you had any as we start to wrap it up here. We've got about 5 more minutes. Won't you get hit by the runner if you go back into foul territory? No, because the runner's running straight up the line through the – you're not going to be able to see this at all. Okay, the runner's running straight up the line through the base. If you step back behind the line and catch a long hop with your foot on the bag, you can easily just move your foot off. It's pretty much just like you're standing on the front of the bag, except now you're on the back. Okay, and it's all about getting that right hop.
Yeah, and again with that, Christian, that's why I said you're going to read the play. You're going to know the play by reading the ball hit off the bat. If it's going to be bang bang, you're obviously not going to do that. But when the throws, usually they're long throws, short or third, that you're going to get those long, uncomfortable hops that don't have a lot of velocity. The guy was off balance. You're going to have time to move back and to just shuffle your feet back, hold the bag, and go back and make a nice, easy play. It looks simple. It's something you have to work on, though.
Right. All right, if you guys don't have any questions, why did I say I like backhands? So we were just talking about, Riley, backhands as a first baseman. It was just much easier – for me, it was much easier to control my glove and stay above the ball. The more you reach out with a forehand, the more your fingers are coming up. So if you have to really reach out and get a short hop, it's hard to do that forehand. It's much easier to play it as a backhand and keep that palm above the ball, that short hop that's coming up to you.
Yeah, you get away from that flip. You see a lot of guys with that forehand that they want to reach out and just do this. That's what we were talking about. You get a little of the wrist. You lose that ceiling. But with the backhand, you're not going to do this. You're going to work out through the ball, and it's going to keep that ceiling on it. And you can just create that short hop wherever you want it. It's just a much easier play.
Yep. I can remember a couple of times guys throw me like a two-seamer, that start to my backhand, finish on my forehand at the last second. It's got to go like that. But yeah, other than that, I tried to almost keep it strictly backhands. Here's what I want to leave with you guys with. We talked a lot about just defense in general, infield in general. We're going to do some more and get into specifics. But versatility as an infielder is the most important thing I can teach any of you, okay? Especially your righties. Your lefties, you're stuck to first base. But right-handers, okay, having the ability to play shortstop, second base, third base, and first base provides so much value to your team you have no idea. Because there are going to be times that if you're just a shortstop and you get to college and there's a junior shortstop who's going to be a top 10 pick, you're not getting on the field if you don't play any other positions, right? You might be playing great, right? But you're only getting in the games where you're up 10-2, okay? Or somebody goes down with an injury. You might be the starting shortstop, but you have the third baseman goes down. You don't have any other kids that can play third, but you can. So you move over to third to help your team out, and we move another middle infielder to shortstop, okay? But you don't just, come out of the womb a great defender at third base, second base, shortstop, first base. You have to work at this, and you have to understand where these guys need to be on certain plays, the positioning, why they're there, where the ball needs to be thrown when you make a play. All this stuff you can do without ever taking a rep there. Just pay attention. When your coach is talking to your third baseman, listen in. That's what I did throughout high school. I never played second base once in my life until I got to college, but I knew how to play it because I loved baseball and I loved listening to my coach talk, teach guys. Maybe subconsciously I knew I would coach someday, so that's why I was listening, but I enjoyed that stuff. And because of that, because I knew how to play other positions well, I was able to get way more playing time than I probably even deserved at the time because, I was our best option at that particular position. So versatility is incredibly important. If you're a shortstop and your coach asks you to play third base, you should be happy. That's a compliment that he thinks you're athletic enough to play multiple positions. Do not pigeonhole yourself into one position. Have fun playing baseball. You're playing baseball whether you're playing center field, catcher, first base, shortstop. You're playing baseball no matter what position you're playing. So take pride in all that. Have fun with it, and don't look at it as a negative if you're getting moved around. It's actually a positive. So that is all I got for you guys tonight. I'm out of breath because I was talking so fast. So I hope I didn't throw too much stuff at you guys. But we're gonna have some more, talk some double plays, talk corner infield specific stuff. So we got a lot of information, guys. We are approaching getting back on a baseball field. I promise you. Okay. I don't know the exact date yet, but we're getting close. You guys, I'd put my money on it that you guys that have been investing the time to be on these webinars are going to be ready when that time comes. Okay. Don't let up now. We're going to play almost at the snap of a finger. So you need to be ready. Your body needs to be ready. Your mind needs to be ready. So keep doing what you're doing. I'm super proud of you guys. Thanks so much for being on. Let me know if you have any questions. Coaches, thanks so much for being on. And I'll leave you guys with that. Have a good night. See you guys tomorrow night in the pitching webinar.
Good night.
Good night.